Welcome back for our deep dive discussion into poetry. Last month we discussed how to write ghazals, which are a Persian prayer song form used as love letters meant to evoke either romantic love or love of the divine. This month we are wrapping up our poetry discussion with limericks. While this probably feels like it would have been better for March in light of St. Patrick's Day, I decided to hold off until July because it's a very short form. Limericks are 5 lines long and meant to be spoken with a sing-song cadence. There is a specific rhyme scheme incorporated at the end of the lines, forming an AABBA pattern. This means lines 1, 2, and 5 have the same rhyming sound, and lines 3 and 4 have their own rhyming sound. While there is no particular syllable count to the lines, the first, third, and fifth lines tend to have a longer syllable count than lines 3 and 4. For example, here's one that I wrote, ironically, for St. Patrick's Day a few years ago. There once was a man from Cork, who was a wee bit of a dork. He stole me gold, and truth be told, I stabbed him with a fork. So here's a list of tips to help you master the art of the limerick. Tip number 1, create an AABBA rhyme scheme. If you go back to my example, I used cork, dork, told, gold, and fork. Play around with your word choices and focus the sounds of the words to make them sharper. The sharper the sound, the more it pops when spoken in cadence. In fact, one-syllable rhyming words work best. Tip number 2, use a syllable scheme. While there is no specific syllable count like the sonnet or the elegy, limericks typically have 8 or 9 syllables in lines 1, 2, and 5, with 5 to 6 syllables in lines 3 and 4. Keep in mind this is a recommendation, not a rule. Play around with the flow of your syllables in a way that's consistent. The rhythm should feel like da-da-dum, 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 da-da-dum. Man, I feel really dumb right now. Tip number 3, think of something funny or entertaining to you. Many limericks incorporate something funny and perhaps incorporate a name to make the story as specific and funny as possible. You might also incorporate elements of your own city or town to personalize the funny story that cracks you up. Tip number 4, end the poem with some kind of resolution to the story it's telling. And that's it. I mean, that's my last writing tip of season 6. Holy crap. So here's what you do. You create the AABBA rhyme scheme. AABBA. With strong single-syllable word choices for your rhyming words. You incorporate a consistent syllable scheme to your lines to give them that bouncy, sing-songy feel. You make sure the story that your poem tells is funny and personal to you, and give the poem story some kind of resolution. So here's your prompt. Think of a funny limerick base for the story of an idiot who makes a stupid dumbass mistake, like say he falls into a second floor laundry chute during the Christmas holidays. There's no reason why I would bring that up, especially that specific example, right? Right. When you're ready to share your limerick, you can do so by posting it in the video comments down below. You can send it to me via email at gkjpublishing@gmail.com, or you can share it with me on Instagram and X at gkj_publishing. I'd love to read it and offer you some feedback.